Well, thank you for coming to
Yeah.
Toronto. Always great to have you here.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I know that this was 10 years in the making, you know, from when you decided that, but are you glad it didn't take 10 years to make?
Yes, I can actually, I've done my own study now. I can actually tell you for sure it's a lot easier to think about a film for 10 years than make it, than to actually make a film over 12 years or whatever.
So why didn't we see Mason's college experiences at this?
Well, this kind of is. You know, for me personally, this movie begins right where Boyhood ends.
Yeah. I'm
in a very different character.
Absolutely.
179 degrees away from Mason to Jake here. But in my own life, those are, this is kind of was my college, you know. Dazed and Confused was kind of my high school. This is my college. You know, you show up at such an interesting time, you know. Developmentally, you're in a new atmosphere. You're bonding with new people and deciding who you're going to be.
Yeah.
You know, suddenly there's all this freedom. What are you going
Right.
to do with these adult decisions? You know, like, what do you want to study? Who are your friends? What are you reading? You know, it's
Yeah.
all kind of feels like the stakes go or higher.
Yeah, and then, you know, the casting of it, a lot of these guys we know, we've seen them, but they're not huge stars. I mean, Blake, you know, people, if you watch Glee, we saw him on Glee.
Yeah.
Did you see him on Glee? Do you know that he could sing and do that kind of stuff?
I knew he could. I had heard, but I kind of didn't. I knew he'd been on Glee, and you know, Tyler was Teen Wolf,
Yeah.
and Glenn was in Expendables, and you know,
Yeah.
Ryan's in Step Up, and you know, they're all around. There's always a lot of great young talent. They're just all looking for that part.
Yeah.
And so it's great when you have that opportunity to offer these parts to like a talented ensemble. So that was the fun of this movie, was working with them.
So the bonding session, I want to know about how you got these guys to bond so well, because I understand you let them stay on your farm. So what was that like?
Yeah, I've got some land outside of Austin where we were shooting, and we just lived together for a few weeks. You know, you really get to know someone.
Your own college party
yeah,
there.
I had
yeah.
my own place, but they all lived in a, you know, kind of a dorm environment. It's a bunkhouse.
Yes.
But you really get to know people when they're snoring in the bunk across the room, and you know, you're eating every meal together, you're playing all day and having fun. So it was a blast. I think it worked. They really got to know each other's personalities, and a lot of the humor in the movie is derived from kind of creating those characters based on kind of what their strengths are.
Yeah, and how did you get them into 80s mode?
Well, it's easy. You get the right mustache, get the right hair, get the right clothes, but a lot of music and just talking about the culture. I showed them movies, and they do research. And I mean, you get into it. Actors like that because it really helps them capture their character, whether
Yeah.
it's the clothes or the hair or something. So.
Who surprised you the most out of these guys?
Surprised me the most?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone surprised me but I am very proud of the way it worked out for some of the less written parts. I'd say there was more distinct parts in the, let's say, the upper 7 or so. There was 5 kind of smaller parts that might have 4 or 5 lines that I really just needed to cast someone very distinct, and then we built up those parts. But I'm really glad no one sort of disappears from the movie. Like, even you really feel the ensemble. Those smaller parts are very distinct in themselves.
Absolutely.
And no one gets lost, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody did a great job. And Zoe, like, she's so effervescent on screen, you know?
she's wonderful. And she has, I told her, hey, no pressure, Zoe, but you kind of have all of young womanhood on your shoulders alone.
Yeah.
You know, she's the one young woman in the movie. So, but she's wonderful. She has such a great quality.
Looks like her mom a lot. Like, even in this picture, oh my God, you do a double take, it's Leah. Like, it's really, but they're all fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, Richard, I want to ask you, after the success of Boyhood and what a great film and how everybody did so well, were you know, after it was all said and done, and were you kind of, not surprised, but how did you feel that it was so embraced by everybody and just loved?
Well, it was
You spent so much of your life
wonderful.
on that.
I know. It was so wonderful. You know, I remember telling Eller, the young actress, like, don't expect anything. You know, no one's even going to see this movie. You know, like, that's the indie film world. You put a movie out there, it means everything to you, but don't expect anything back. So when it actually happens, when a film gets received in the spirit that you've put it forth, it's just wonderful. You just kind of, you know, count your blessings that you connected on some level that meant something to people. So it was fun.
It was great.
Tribute to the movie.
Yeah, it was great. And so is this. It's so much
Yeah.
fun. And just keep them
So-
coming. Thank
yeah,
you so much.
thank
It's such a
you.
pleasure
Yeah,
to
it's
meet
so
you and
fun.
talk to you. And,
Always.
keep staying young.
See you. Well, you too. Yeah. See you in another
Richard.
25 years.
Absolutely.
We'll be going, hey, you haven't.
Hopefully before that. Take it easy. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
yeah.
Okay, great.